And hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Media Musings. Jen will be here momentarily. This is week 2 of Star Wars Week, and we are talking about the prequels with our current special guests, Mama Atheist and Bad Tempered Badger.
Hello.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Yeah. So, to begin with, I'll start by saying something nice about the prequels in that they were ambitious.
Yeah, a little bit.
And hello to Critical Cripple and Math Pig, and of course anyone who might be watching in the future.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
Yeah, it's all right. You literally just missed the intro. That's about it.
Santi, I'm going to slap you.
The kettle took longer to boil than I thought it would.
Yeah.
And I need it because I'm absolutely freezing now.
And Santi, that's next week.
I'm going to slap you, Santi.
I was just responding to that. So.
Yeah, we get to talk about the other failures of Star Wars this week.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I was telling Ring earlier, Angel's not feeling good this morning, so he sends his apologies. He probably knows more about the prequels than all of us combined.
Badger, your thing's happening
we've got
again.
Badger here. I don't know.
Your thing's happening again, Badger.
I'm on the spaceship.
Yeah, will you stop humming though? Can you turn the engines off for a bit?
Do you want me to crash into Dantooine?
Yeah. Surely you can just cruise around in space.
Yeah.
By the way, I have an avatar for today.
Well, that was fun, you guys.
Just see Amanda's eyes slowly narrow, just kind of.
I very nearly actually did type in Godless Gungan for.
Well,
You're just asking for it, aren't you, Jeff?
I actually am going to have to go off camera for a second, all right? So just bear with me. So.
Yeah, but you have other icons, douchebag.
I do like that icon, though. It looks cool.
I think it actually suits Jeff perfectly.
Oh!
No, wait. I'm just getting Star Warsy. There we go.
Yeah.
If Jar Jar had never spoken in English, but only in whatever in a Gungan language, and it had been subtitled, you probably wouldn't have had the negativity towards him.
No, he was stupid. He was always fucking failing upward. That was the point. Everything that happened to him was just him fucking up, but somehow getting away with it and having everybody fucking die.
Which makes every bit of sense if he'd ended up being a Sith.
We're not going to go into that. But actually, I'm going to be side with Amanda on this one. I think that's the fan theory we don't need to get into.
Yeah,
it's not fantasy though. It's actually in one of the books.
Yeah, it is in one of the comic books.
Okay, so
technically canon, but it can go fuck itself. For saying fuck.
It's part of the extended universe.
Right.
I'll be damned if I won't talk about it in 2 weeks' time.
So prequels.
Okay, fair enough. You can talk about it in 2 weeks' time, Jen, if it's extended universe. Okay.
Jar Jar's also in the prequels. He's a central character in at least the first episode.
Yeah. I wouldn't even necessarily say if I'd call him a central character in that. I think he was clearly put in a sort of
relief.
comic relief, but it was bad comic relief. It was like forced comic relief.
So,
no, I'm not going to argue with that.
Badger's trying to say something.
Yeah.
Sorry, Badger. What was that?
Saying he's central because he's fallen over in the middle of things. He's there like, oh, there's a battle going on. I'll fall over here and then I'll be featured.
But if the ideas are real, that just let me go down this path, please. If the ideas were real, that the plan was to make him Darth Jar Jar, a future, then his mistakes working out make sense in him trying to hide who he was.
Why? This is the beginning of this episode, and we're just talking about fucking Jar Jar.
Okay, if we make a
because
deal,
he's in the very first episode.
So it's fucking Qui-Gon, who is imperative and also the best goddamn Jedi of all of 9 fucking
No
movies.
argument. No argument there.
I mean, it's best to clear out as many elephants from the room as soon as possible.
I was going to say.
How long have you known Jen? No, you don't understand.
I'll clear out the elephant.
That she will build this entire shit on.
If we have this conversation now, okay, Jen, you cannot bring it up again in any more streams about this, okay? Is that fair?
Fine. I won't bring it up as part of the discussion for the extended universe.
Yeah.
Okay, how about this?
Because I'd rather let Badger drive the extended universe discussion anyway, Badger and Angel, because they know more about it than I do. So
Wait. In about 10 minutes, I got to bounce for a few. Have the discussion then.
We can save. We can
I can do that. I can do that, Amanda. Let's do Qui-Gon first, then whilst you're here.
Yeah.
There's one other elephant in the room that I need to bring up, which is there are 6 Star Wars films.
You knew what I fucking meant. I'm wearing my clothes today for the prequel.
All clothes. Cool.
And I also can't find one of my TIE fighters, so there's that too. I know.
Can I just ask a question about why it took them so long to find Anakin?
Wait, what?
Why it took them so long to find Anakin?
I don't.
Surely to find the younglings who are strongly attuned with the Force. Other Jedi who are strongly attuned with the Force can feel their presence. Why was Anakin's presence, even though he was obviously using Force abilities that he didn't know that that's what they were?
He was out in a
backwater
planet on the edge of the galaxy.
The Republic
shouldn't matter.
Is not exactly.
The Republic doesn't exist on Tatooine. They don't. The Jedi don't go there very much.
Is it part of Hutt space? Isn't it?
Yeah. It's right on the edge of Hutt space.
Yeah.
And the Hutts are meant to be non-Force sensitive, aren't they? And actually, that's part of the reason why Luke couldn't use his abilities on him.
The Hutts are crimey people. They have their brains work differently. Yeah, their brains, their whole species works a little bit differently to a lot of others in terms of thought processes and stuff. So the Jedi mind trick does not work on them. They are also the Jedi and the Republic. Well, let's put it the other way: the Republic and the Jedi, by extension, don't go to Hutt space very much.
Yeah, it's kind of a. Hey, honey.
Hey, Chris.
Oh no!
How it goes?
Going good.
All right.
You're up late.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's Star Wars.
Did you hear the rule that was just implemented, Chris? Because you probably want to go down the discussion that I wanted to. So
I've already yelled twice. I've said fuck like 30 times. Don't start with me.
We're
not heard it.
We're not talking about JJ until after.
No, not that one. The one about we can't talk about Darth Jar Jar until
That's what he meant.
So, until Amanda goes for a break.
We will not address the vaguely racist elephant in the room until Amanda goes to pick up pills.
I just gotta.
Okay.
No, I will be on for like 20 minutes. You have 20 minutes while I go get my mom's meds to talk. about that ship. So
Well, we've accepted that.
Right. So about them.
Well, I have anyway.
To be honest, honestly though, with that fan feel, honestly, with that fan.
I'm so fucked right now.
Brilliant, Chris.
Canon.
Yeah, we know. I already said they're canon. It's still kind of bullshit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Does it honestly really that story really worth warranting a discussion? In all honesty, is it that important?
But
well, it is because it leads. No, we're not talking about this whilst Manda's here. No.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. We'll talk about it later, and I'll answer that question for you.
Yeah.
So, Phantom Menace is. It opens in a very interesting way with trade disputes.
Yeah,
what do people think of that?
Every time I watch that first scroll on Phantom Menace, I just crack up every time because it's like Star Wars. Well, there's the Trade Federation and taxation and fucking what the fuck?
Yeah, like I said, it seems like the one good thing you can say about the prequel trilogy is that it's ambitious. Unfortunately, George Lucas didn't listen to it. George Lucas did his own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
having said that, George Lucas doing his own thing was better than other people doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm. I'll say a lot of good stuff about the prequels if you want good stuff about the prequels said.
Oh.
Wait, I want to speak to what Ring just said.
Yeah.
Because, and I've said this before, in the original trilogy, he wasn't that famous. So the people around him, including the actors on the set, would tell him, no, this is stupid, do it this way, and he would. And it made for a better movie. When he got to the prequels, he was huge, and he had a power trip. So he had things like Jar Jar where nobody said to him, dude, this is fucking stupid. Because they're afraid to. And that's how we ended up with so much idiocy in the prequels.
Jar Jar isn't, and this isn't me being a dick.
Jar
Jar isn't that bad. What you got to remember is, so we would have all seen the original Star Wars as kids. And it was a movie, things like Ewoks were probably exciting for us and probably rather stupid to adults at the time. Jar Jar was for kids. He's not for adults, he was for kids. But Jar Jar has actually aged okay. I mean, he's a little bit of, comedic relief, but
all right, I'm gonna go.
He's not that bad. He's not that bad.
Yeah.
And now that she's gone, he is a Sith Lord, and we have the
evidence. Right. All right, Chris, if you notice my new avatar,
mate, it's the least annoying thing I've seen all day.
It suits you perfectly, Jeff.
I mean, as I said, at least in the first movie, he is kind of central to the plot. Jar Jar is so.
With the good things about the prequels, I will say
good stuff there, Rig.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah. I will say about the prequels, I actually really enjoyed that they opened with trade disputes because I think it actually fleshes out the Star Wars galaxy, so it's not just wars all the time.
Yeah.
It allows there to be other things going on in the galaxy, which then the 2 weeks from now stream will expand on.
Yeah.
And really,
I don't disagree. I actually didn't have that problem with the first movie. That it had all this politics in it. It was a galaxy full of politicians. It was going to have politics in it. The politics inevitably led to the position where the Sith could take over.
Yeah,
I mean, it had to be part of the story to some extent.
Yeah, the prequels are about the fall of a republic and the rise of an empire.
Yeah. But even going back to obviously we talked the original trilogy last week. I mean, when George Lucas was originally having concepts of this, he did have sort of ideas of politics in mind about how the empire came to be. I mean, originally, like the Palpatine was his original vision was Palpatine was kind of going to be a lot an inept puppet kind of emperor, and really it's people like Vader or whatever, the real rulers. But I think obviously scrap that idea eventually as it moved on. So I think he always had this idea that he was going to play with politics as a subject.
Yeah.
And I think he maybe got to do that in the prequels a bit.
And there's nothing actually wrong with having politics in your thing. It's just you got to do it in an interesting way. And I actually think that if I'm saying positive stuff about the prequels, I think it actually did do the politics in an interesting way when the dialogue was not terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, go on, Chris.
I was going to say, I think the only reason that there's a lot of issues with, especially some of the dialogue and some of the prequels, is I think they were too short. I think that some of them could have gone for a lot longer. Attack of the Clones. I love Attack of the Clones, but it's rushed, and it does have the love story. And let's just kind of look at the whole. It was his force projection of love that made her fall in love so quick. And let's just sort of look at that theory.
You should have got somebody else to write the dialogue.
That's a tad rapey, isn't it? That theory.
It is, but it's also potentially. Well, it's also potentially something that's involuntary from his point of view, which also, that can sort of be, why she died in, of a broken heart was because that connection sort of broke and it did.
Coincidence,
and also why the Jedi swear off having relationships because they can force their emotions on others.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
kind of
I think the prequels. I think the prequels get a real bad run, and I think that we got the prequels. I remember going to the midnight premieres. I remember having so much fun, and I just remember enjoying the first time I watched it, all of them. I just remember enjoying the hell out of it every time. When the whole taxation and things like that. Okay, yeah, I guess when you really go in and analyze it, and it's a bit weird, but. At the time, I didn't care because Star Wars was here. I'm watching a brand new Star Wars for the first time at the movies.
Plus, E.T.'s in the Senate.
And that.
He was.
Yeah.
He was.
Yep.
Lucas should have got someone else to write the romance scenes.
Oh, yeah, I must admit, they were pretty lame, but yeah.
But I hate.
I mean, they had to be written down for kids to watch. I mean, that's the thing we all forget as adults. Star Wars is written for kids. It's not written for adults. All of them are written for kids.
That doesn't mean you can't have a convincing romance dialogue.
Well, I mean, if you look at the way...
I agree with you, but it means it is less important than the elements that kids would find interesting.
The thing is, in the original trilogy, I mean, the romance between Han Solo and Leia was written very well. It was done brilliantly.
Was it?
And I thought it was. I mean, now maybe it was the way, maybe the acting or the way it was done, but it's definitely brilliant in the way compared to what Anakin and Padme, how Anakin and Padme's written. No, you can make a comparison.
Anakin and Padme was gross. I mean, I do love the parts of them. I also the thing too, though. That's different between Leia and Han and Anakin and Padme is that there's an actual story with Anakin and Padme that runs throughout the entire 3 movies, whereas it kind of Han and Leia seemed forced and rushed a little bit more.
It does. Yeah, I'm with Amanda. I don't think it doesn't feel like it should have been the romance. And I mean, I don't think it wasn't originally meant to be because Leia wasn't originally going to be Luke's sister.
Yeah, no, I get that.
And Han was meant to die at the end of Empire.
Yeah, and Han was meant to die, so
you're gonna get slapped.
I still like Leia and Han better, but there's just more story to Padme.
Yeah.
Anakin. That being said, he was very young when they first met, and I understand she wasn't so much older, but she was still a queen, an adult for the most part. And
she was 16 and he was, what, 10?
Yeah.
There's some bits.
There was 6 years.
There's some bits with Leia and Han where it's a bit kind of... but most of it is pretty well acted, and the dialogue, while a little bit wonky in places, is fine.
Yeah.
But then you get Anakin. Just, I hate sand. It's coarse and rough. It gets everywhere.
Yeah.
And now I just want to say that Hayden Christensen did a very good job with what he was given. He was was told to act like an awkward fucking teenager who doesn't understand how emotions work, and he did that perfectly.
Yeah,
he did.
I don't know if I tried to show you, Badger, but there's a Star Wars theory video about precisely how George Lucas taught Hayden exactly how he wanted to act. So Hayden, not the greatest actor in the world, but this wasn't his fault. This was George Lucas telling him, like, moment by moment, how to even make his face and how to sound and everything. He had this idea in his head, because here's this boy who is told immediately that he is the chosen one, but he still has to go through everything else. All the Padawans and stuff have to go through, and the youngling, he did young first. He's surrounded by all these Jedi that he knows he's really more powerful than, and they hold him down and they hold him back. And this is where his, broody teenage bullshit comes from. So
it seems to be his way of writing teenagers, though, isn't it? Broody.
Yeah.
He seems to think teenagers only have one mode. Fucking broody.
Because mine is a fucking broody mess, okay?
Someone tell me.
I know it happens, but it's like, don't make it. I mean, he made it into a character flaw rather than just part of who the character was, and it was annoying.
We are talking about Darth Vader. Keep that in mind. We're talking about Darth Vader.
No, I agree. Who is a moody adult as well.
Darth Vader as a whole spent his entire life manipulated. He was manipulated.
Oh, he did.
By his slave owners. He was manipulated by the Jedi. He was manipulated by Palpatine.
So I do like that. Technically, Anakin did bring balance to the Force, just not in the way that the Council wanted.
I was going to say something then the Badger would have hated, so I'm not saying
it. Did he though?
Didn't he get into?
No, don't go there. Next week, Chris. Next week. Let's not talk about.
If you want to acknowledge that those films exist at all, that's next week.
Didn't balance also mean destroying the Jedi?
I still haven't seen the one I need to watch.
No, there's none. There's none. Deal with it.
Can we not argue about this till next week?
Yeah.
At the moment, we are up to we've done the first three, so we can reference them. We're doing the second three. So at the moment, in the timeline of these discussions, nothing else exists, even extended universe. Even though we might touch on that in a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean,
we're not going to talk about this unless we talk about it. Okay.
Yeah, we're not going to talk.
But I've got to touch on extended universe to cover the whole Jar Jar thing when you're gone.
Do we have to actually cover that because it's not part of the movies, is it?
Yeah.
We
that was you gone, was it, Amanda?
I think we've done that.
Ready, so I'm here for the rest.
Okay, fine.
Do that for the expanded universe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do Jar Jar for the expanded universe because he's part of that.
We'll put a pin in it.
We'll put a pin in it. For Amanda's benefit.
That'd be nice. it is extended universe. I will just.
Yes, it is extended universe. So
Angel are here for it because he knows a ton of the extended universe. I'll just fucking walk out the room, although he probably might too. So.
We'll save it for
that. My brain kind of made it, and made a comparison, which is something that my brain likes to do. Around this time, there was another series of films being made about a chosen one with magical powers who is being manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not talk about those set of movies because we've already done at least 3 episodes covering that.
Yeah.
We're doing Star Wars.
Qui-Gon's cool. Let's talk about Qui-Gon.
Let's talk about Qui-Gon.
That's what I said. That's what I started this shit on. So you fuckers brought up Jar Jar, so.
Actually, technically, we brought Jar Jar up first, and you used Qui-Gon to try as a deflection tactic.
But
no, I think Amanda did actually say Qui-Gon first.
Oh,
Am I
okay.
wrong?
We will talk about Qui-Gon.
No, you're not wrong, Amanda. You said Qui-Gon before I mentioned Jar Jar.
Qui-Gon is the coolest Jedi. And I am totally going to side with Amanda on this. Qui-Gon is my favourite of the Jedi Order. In
the movies, at least.
In the movies.
I play in the movies and what I've read in extended literature, but...
Also,
But no, so I haven't read as much.
We're not doing extended.
This is a Ring show. When Ring, whichever the fuck way he is, when Ring talks, everybody else is quiet. Okay.
Thank you, Manda.
Yes, Mom.
It is fucking Mother's Day, and I will mother this fucking stream. Okay?
No, I will say
it ain't Mother's Day here, so I'll torment you.
You always torment
me. Here.
He tormented me as well. Stop.
Part of it, part of Qui-Gon being so cool was one, it's Qui-Gon, but two, he's being played by Liam freaking Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But my reasoning is Chris ran away. He's scared of me. I know it. My reasoning is that to Qui-Gon, while a devout Jedi, he still sees gray areas as opposed to just black and white.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you see that when he fucks with the dice, and how he manipulates people more so than just a one-off Jedi mind trick. He knows that, the problem, with Obi-Wan and Anakin is that they, Obi-Wan sees it black and white, and Anakin starts to see it differently, and they can't mesh that way. But Qui-Gon originally sees it. He knows that the universe isn't black and white. So he's able to, he's the only one that could have had Anakin as a Padawan and kept him on the path to be the chosen one. I guarantee you that.
Okay, that was the question I was about to ask. Do you think that Obi-Wan was correct in his own criticism that he wasn't a good enough Jedi to train Anakin?
He wasn't Obi-Wan is an amazing Jedi, don't get me wrong, but he wasn't the correct Jedi to do it.
The thing is, you also got to remember that Obi-Wan has never had a Padawan before Anakin.
Yeah.
That was
Obi-Wan had literally just become a Jedi Knight.
He was and was given this responsibility of, taking on a really a huge responsibility. Really, if Anakin is what he's professed to be, you'd think that maybe the Jedi Order would have given him to someone with a bit more experience.
They didn't want to take him on, which I actually don't understand. I think that's a bad. I know they did that to make the situation where Obi-Wan would take him on.
Considering how it turned out for the Jedi Order, they might have been right not to take him on.
Actually,
no, because if that taking him on would have guaranteed the Sith would have sorted him out.
Next thing you know, Palpatine swoops in and goes, "Oh, look, a fancy new apprentice."
Yeah,
and the Jedi don't even want him.
I'm going to step out for 2 minutes, but we have got to talk about Palpatine at some point through that piece.
Yeah. Obviously, and Chris makes his apologies. He had to run. So.
Okay,
okay.
Letting you know.
And
as long as I didn't scare him off with my grumpy badger face.
But talking about Qui-Gon and how his approach probably would have been the best way to train Anakin. You can kind of see. Obvious, it's probably not there intentionally, but in the subtext, you can kind of see an indictment of extremism, and fundamentalist attitudes. You can read that in the subtext. I'm pretty sure it's not in there, on purpose.
You see me standing here in Mandalorian armor, don't you?
Yes.
I do not agree with how the Jedi handle anything.
Depends on the Jedi. I mean, if you're talking the Grey Jedi, I think they were actually way more balanced than the...
Yeah, that's a good point. Grey Jedi, I'm kind of...
Which is basically what Qui-Gon was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He was a Grey Jedi. So if he'd trained Anakin probably would have taken on that mantle, which would have suited his personality better.
Amanda
Also,
was
it
gonna,
wouldn't have been
Amanda
under
has
so much
something to say.
pressure.
Were the Grey Jedi the ones that had the yellow lightsabers?
No.
Who were the ones with the yellow lightsabers?
Mostly temple guards and stuff.
Temple
like
guards, that's it. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
that. Grey Jedi are not directly linked to the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
No.
There's it for the thing in 2 weeks. There's a whole load of other Force using traditions that exist outside the Jedi Order, but I'm not going to get into them just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, in the movies, the closest thing to a Grey Jedi would be Qui-Gon.
Yeah, okay, I remember.
Question for you.
I have these conversations with Angel, but there's so fucking many of them that
Fair enough.
I can only split them out in my head. But I know I've had the Grey Jedi conversation and the Temple Guard conversation. I think it might have been in the same night, and that's why I was thinking that. So.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't necessarily say Qui-Gon was a Grey Jedi because they were two different things, as Badger says. But in the movies, he's the closest thing we get to a Grey Jedi.
The whole thing with
except maybe Ahsoka later.
The whole thing with different lightsaber colors, and there only being green and blue usually, is
unless you're Sam Jackson and you want to stand out.
Yeah,
literally why he had a purple lightsaber.
Well, he's got to be
Because he's Sam motherfucking Jackson.
Exactly. Wait, hold on. Exactly. So.
Yeah.
There's the thing with that's quite recent comparatively in the Jedi traditions, but that's for the expanded universe one.
Yeah, well, actually, the only reason green lightsabers became a thing was because in Return of the Jedi, when Luke had the blue, if Luke was, like, they tried with the blue lightsaber for the outdoor shots, and it was blending into the sky, so they had to change it green.
Excellent. Anyway.
So it was a special effects issue that caused the change in lightsaber colors.
Yeah.
Oh, that is brilliant.
All right.
Funniest stories that I've heard from the prequels is that Ewan McGregor kept making the lightsaber sound.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And Ray Park got really pissed off with him.
Yeah.
Well, Ray Park is like an uber professional, though.
Ray Park is a fucking serious martial artist.
He just physically reprised the Darth Maul character again when they did the motion capture for the last season of Clone Wars. 20 goddamn years after he did the first. So he knows his shit. He's a professional.
Ray Park is a fucking serious martial artist.
Yeah.
Did Ray Park actually do Darth Maul in the Solo movie?
Yes.
Sorry that I'm bringing that up.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He also played Toad in X-Men.
Yes.
He did too.
Right, question for you, peoples.
Yep.
In the prequel films, who's your favorite Jedi?
Didn't we all just say that?
Yeah, quite.
Just checking.
Why? Do you have a different answer, Badger?
Mine varies.
Yeah, I want to watch the first movie again just to watch Qui-Gon.
I like
Mace
Windu.
last night and got tired. I was like, okay, I don't want to watch this shit again. Sorry, Badger.
That's all right. I like Mace Windu, but I think that's more that he's played by Samuel motherfucking Jackson.
Yeah, that's the only saving grace of Mace Windu.
Traits.
Otherwise, he's a useless cunt. Honestly, what the fuck
really
does he
is.
do other than stand with the other?
He's not useless. He's just not. He's too fucking full of himself in terms of.
He's useless in the movies. He has a little more use in the Clone Wars, like the show, but I'm sorry, in the movies and a big deal of the Clone Wars, he literally just fucking stands around.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
And he's also part of the reason that talks Yoda out of bringing in Anakin.
And that's another thing. If he hadn't been such a fucking twat to Anakin, maybe Anakin would have chosen him instead of fucking Palpatine, and other shit would have happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he fucking gave shit to Anakin the minute he walked in that temple. The minute he did. Because he was jealous of him for being the chosen one or being known as the chosen one.
Who we talking?
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind Mace as a character, but
Yeah, his main saving grace is being played by Samuel motherfucking Jackson.
And I think it's his only saving grace. The character himself is fundamentally flawed for such a high-level Jedi. He is.
Yeah.
He's basically an asshole.
Yep, he is. I also like Yoda, but Yoda's got some of his own issues. Yoda's kind of, for a being that's 900 years old, he's kind of short-sighted.
He is rather, isn't he?
This question. Why the fuck does Yoda walk with a cane when he can, do flips and shit? When he's being
He's 900 years old. He probably has to use the Force to help him do that.
He's got back problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the explanation is when he's doing backflips and stuff, he's basically using the Force to temporarily boost his body.
But also,
and he can't do that all the time.
For a very long stretch of time.
No.
I think it's a decent enough explanation. You can do lots of shit with the Force.
Maybe he's just going for the old wise teacher look. Also,
you think it's a long con.
So you're saying he's enslaved to the aesthetic of just the hobbled mentor figure.
Also, because then he can poke the younglings with his cane, never his mind on where he was, what he was doing.
That's an excellent impression.
That's why he's got the cane.
This is also my issue with Yoda.
Yeah.
He is a hugely different character from, and I get that he went crazy in the swamp and whatnot, but he's way more of comic relief in the originals than he is the serious character. It was just an adjustment when you saw him in the prequels, and you're like, oh, he's serious and shit.
Also, that's kind of deliberate on his part, because he is trying to test whether he thinks Luke can be trained by playing the silly character and messing him around.
It's just comic relief. But it's very different once in the original trilogy. I mean, which I think I said last week, I think it's one of the best sort of little reveals in Star Wars. We talked about it last week.
Is that he's the trickster figure as well as the mentor.
Mm-hmm. You've also got to look at it from the point of view that when they made the first movies, Frank Oz had an awful lot of input as to how Yoda's personality would be played out. Whereas when it came to the same thing as you were talking about before, Amanda, when it came to the prequels, Lucas had more of a direction to Oz about how to play him.
I prefer serious Yoda, though.
You prefer serious?
I love Frank Oz, yes, but you also have a tendency, to hear Kermit much more in the original trilogy one.
You hear Kermit. I hear Miss Piggy.
Yeah,
I hear Miss Piggy.
Frank Oz didn't do Kermit.
What?
So
yes, he did.
Frank Oz didn't do no. Jim Henson did Kermit. Jim Henson.
Frank Oz did Miss Piggy.
Okay. Oh.
And you
fine.
Listen to Miss Piggy and tell me you don't hear Yoda.
You would more likely hear Blue Muppet from Sesame Street.
Cookie
Grover.
Monster?
No, Grover. Yoda and Grover sound an awful lot alike.
Groda.
I honestly still maintain you listen to Miss Piggy, you can catch a bit of Yoda in that if you listen.
Oh yeah.
All right, so now that we've established that apparently everyone's favorite Jedi is Qui-Gon, because Qui-Gon is objectively the best Jedi.
Yeah.
But only in the movies.
Now that we've established that, who other Jedi do people like?
We covered
obviously Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Obi-Wan, definitely. And I prefer Ewan McGregor. I just like the younger Obi-Wan because he's got more of bite to him.
Also,
I think you just see more of him too, though.
Also, younger Obi-Wan is a bit less of a shit.
Yeah, that's something about the prequels. That is the best thing about the prequels is casting Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
He did a brilliant job of being like a younger Alec McGuinness. He actually pulled it off so well.
Also,
I cannot wait for Kenobi. Oh my fucking god! Shut up,
Are they bringing Ewan McGregor back to play
Yeah.
Kenobi again?
I believe so.
They are. Oh, that's going to be awesome.
I'm having major mental issues with this, but I'm not.
No. Mandalorian has been good, even if it does ignore some of the stuff that you like. I think Kenobi, you've got to give it a chance.
I'm having major issues, but I'm not getting into them. So,
Is it the Hayden Christensen thing?
no, it's nothing to do with that. It's that Disney is making another thing, so they're going to ruin another aspect of something I like.
Get used to it, Badger. They're going to be making.
I'm already
a lot
fucking
more.
used to it, but that doesn't stop me being angry.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Ring, what do you have to say on the subject? Your fucking show.
Yeah. Of course, it's my show. My show where I let people, just kind of talk and then kind of gently steer the conversation.
That works.
Yeah. But yeah. Though I will say, another thing that was done well, specifically in the Phantom Menace, Darth Maul.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
I love Darth Maul. Yeah, I kind of wish they hadn't killed him off.
He was not. He's not dead.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean.
I'll say you can bring in Clone Wars.
Oh, I'm just mentioning the fact that that's because there's so much Maul in in Clone Wars. One of the reasons I love it.
I mean, if you're talking about things that are prequels, probably Clone Wars actually does form part of that prequel story anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, the original
it kind of
Clone
does.
Wars
It's kind of
movie was
important.
2003, which came out before Revenge of the Sith. So.
And obviously, he's in Rebels as well, isn't he? Where I think he eventually does meet his end, I believe.
Yeah. Now, about the Clone Wars.
Yes.
I like a lot of aspects of the Clone Wars because it really fleshes out the relationship that you don't get to see in the films because Lucas can't write that kind of dialogue well, of the friendship between Obi-Wan and Anakin.
Yeah.
You actually get to see why you were my brother, Anakin. I loved you, is the line he said, which you don't really get to see in the actual films.
Yeah.
So
you okay, Amanda?
That's such a heartbreaking line.
It is. It is, especially when you take Clone Wars into consideration.
It's another thing about Ewan McGregor is the best thing about the prequels.
Yeah.
So, I think you mentioned Darth Maul. What do you think people think about Darth Tyrannus, aka Dooku?
I like him.
Dooku was a fuckwit.
I mean,
why would you get rid of? Well, okay, he didn't get rid of Maul. That wasn't his fault. But I mean, how do you go from Maul to Dooku?
Okay, how could Lucas get rid of Maul?
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
it would have made way more sense to just keep Maul there. Then defeat Maul, but Maul gets away, maybe with injuries that the Emperor fixes. Well, he wasn't the Emperor, the Palpatine fixes. And you don't need Dooku at all. And Maul would have been a much better character to continue on.
What you have to figure out Dooku is ultimately he's a pawn in Palpatine's game. Yeah, really. It's what Dooku is.
Yeah, but he wasn't necessary. It would have made way more sense to keep Maul in, so we got to build Maul as a character, and then have Anakin kill him.
And it would have been more thematically appropriate with the whole, prequels mirroring the originals idea that Lucas had.
Because otherwise, Dooku just comes out of fucking nowhere.
What happens is you realize that you have Sir Christopher Lee available, and you make him a character.
Yeah.
But why not just make him another Jedi? And he could have been the the person who was actually better character than Mace Windu was.
Expanded universe.
You know that the men who played Palpatine and Dooku were best friends in real life and did a bunch of movies together. It's really
Ian
cool.
McDermott and Christopher Lee are good friends. Yeah.
Christopher Lee
were good friends because obviously Christopher Lee's no longer with us. But
like Christopher Lee is amazing.
He's a fucking badass, yo.
Yeah, but that
He
being
recorded
said,
a metal album at like 80 something.
about Charlemagne.
90
something,
years old. He recorded a concept heavy metal album.
Then he did a Christmas metal one.
And he did a load of stuff. He did some stuff with, I think, Nightwish as well, when they were doing a Lord of the Rings themed stuff.
What were you saying, Ring?
Yeah. Christopher Lee was was a badass. But that being said, Dooku still doesn't hold a candle to Maul.
See, I don't get Dooku's motivation. He was a well-respected Jedi. He already knew how to use the Force. He could have studied to become a Sith Lord. He could have just made himself into a Sith Lord. He didn't need Palpatine.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. Whereas Maul was... Palpatine, sorry. Whereas Maul was created by Palpatine. He got him as a young kid and trained him to be basically his servant.
Well, unfortunately, you do have to get into like some of the extended literature stuff to kind of get Dooku's motivations a bit. You can't really get it from the films, I don't feel.
I think that,
but that's the problem. If that's what makes Dooku not work as a character for the movies.
I think it does kind of work, and here's why. When Obi-Wan kills off Maul, Palpatine's there going, "Oh shit, that's the I've just spent 20 years training this awesome apprentice, and he's just got him cut in half. Look, a pre-built apprentice that's kind of already mostly done. I've just got to finish corrupting him a little bit. Let's just go with that." So that thematically is why Dooku's not quite up there with Maul, because Dooku, he's a last minute replacement.
Yeah.
But if, Lucas had, spared, taken a second thought or, listened to anyone, if anyone said anything, that problem wouldn't have happened.
But then you get the whole thing with Obi-Wan being the first Jedi to have killed a Sith Lord in quite some time.
You also,
yes, but it wasn't necessary. He could have just defeated him without killing him.
You would have ended up with Maul actually dead, and wouldn't have had his further story too. There's that.
Yeah.
Which would be sad because that shit.
Oh yeah, because Maul would have eventually had to die for Anakin to take his place.
This fucking 2 Sith law pisses me off. It just does. It's just dumb.
But Palpatine never follows it anyway.
He does when Plagueis is still around, but he
doesn't once he gets rid of Plagueis. He
to.
doesn't give a shit.
He pretends to while Plagueis is around, and he pretends to his apprentices, so that they follow the rules while he's fucking around in the shadows.
Not that Vader ever did.
But I don't think the rule of 2 is such a bad idea, but I think that's more of an extended universe conversation.
Yeah,
yes, it is.
I'd be more than happy to come on and.
No, it's not. It's brought up in the very first movie. There's only 2: a master and apprentice.
Yes, but all the discussion around it is expanded universe.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Discussion about what it is.
That reminds me of something I recently tweeted, and I'm gonna put it up on screen as soon as I get to it. But
begun the Clone Wars have. Isn't that just a ridiculous line?
Yeah, it is.
It really, really annoyed me when Yoda said that. It's like, why did he need to say what everyone knew?
The side has fallen.
The last words of pretty much every Sith Lord ever. Curse your son and button.
Yeah.
How did I miss that? That's hilarious.
That's literally how they replace each other.
Yeah.
It is.
That's got
they've learned
some inevitable
something.
betrayal.
Oh damn. Chair issues again. But okay, I mentioned earlier that what do people think of Palpatine in the prequels?
I mean, Palpatine is whatever.
Yeah.
He's a great actor. The character iffy, but the idea that nobody fucking figured this shit out at any point in time.
Yeah.
I mean, he had the guards, the red cloaked guards. Who the fuck were they? At the end.
Well, I mean, I know them as Imperial guards, but I forget what they were called before that.
They were Senate guards before that.
Yeah.
But they were clearly they were dressed differently, and I don't know. It just there's so much shit, and plus like I don't know. It's just
the way
obnoxiously obvious.
Like the way I feel about Palpatine is the way I feel about is pretty much the way I feel about the prequels. Good concept, poor execution.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I did like the fact that it got into a bit more of a looking at a sort of side of this that you obviously don't get from the original trilogy, because you just see him as this sort of you really only get. I mean, you only really get to see him in Return of the Jedi anyway. Really, I mean,
he does, but
he makes us. But I don't think you in the prequels. I think what you get to see is this sort of like Machiavellian side of Palpatine as a politician, how he gets himself and schemes his way into that position.
Yeah. Also, it is a bit silly that they didn't spot him though, because he did 4 evil head turns in one conversation.
I like that.
He's literally just there doing the evil head turn. Just, is it possible to learn this power? Not from a Jedi.
And every time shit goes down, he is around. He's either the one getting fucking kidnapped, or he's the one who like started it all, but it ended up going awry. Like it's always fucking him in the center of it. Every goddamn time.
And he doesn't die. I mean, he gets captured and they didn't kill him. Why wouldn't the Sith kill him?
Ransom.
How thick is Obi-Wan at this point not to notice?
Well, it depends on what I mean, again, it doesn't give much context to this. Would you necessarily kill the enemy leader necessarily if I think he's more valuable to him alive?
Yeah, he'd be more valuable as a hostage.
Would he though?
Yeah, because it's a republic. You kill, you kill the leader, they're just gonna vote in another one. You keep the leader hostage, then you have a valuable bargaining chip.
I mean, granted, it is Dooku who basically has him hostage, and Dooku's not going to kill him because he's technically
he should have done the sudden but inevitable betrayal, shouldn't he?
Yeah, he should have. See, he was missing a great opportunity to take over.
And again, I can say why he didn't, but it's it's an extended universe conversation, which I almost feel could be about 3 or 4 streams. Quite frankly, everything.
It could be considerably more than that.
Minimum.
If you want some expanded universe information, look up the channel called Mandalore.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to make maybe controversial statement here. And
you know what? I'm just gonna.
No. And I'm going to say, what is the most annoying thing about the prequels? And I'm going to make a case that it's not Jar Jar. I'm going to say it's the fucking droid troopers. They're so fucking inept.
Yes. Yeah, I fucking hate them.
Like the most inept
Why do they need to talk to each other?
They're not. I mean, okay, we've all had the jokes. We'd all had the jokes with like the Imperial Stormtroopers, how they never hit anything, but at least they looked somewhat menacing or whatever.
Yeah.
The droid troop, they just they're just, I mean, bad comedy. To me,
that,
they are far more annoying than Jar Jar.
They're fucking droids. How do they actually miss anyone at all?
I will agree with you on that. They were well portrayed in The Phantom Menace, and then the rest of the films, they just kind of went, they're comedy now.
Yeah.
I think for the expanded universe discussion, they're much better done in the books.
And I will say, like, with the exception of the Droideka, the most of the battle droids are poorly designed. Because a humanoid figure for a battle droid is not like any kind of combat robot is not a good it's not good design.
I mean,
especially when they have other droids that can just float. Why would your battle droid just fucking float?
I mean, at the end of the day, you can almost see, looking at them, why they got their ass kicked handed to them by the fucking Gungans, you know?
Yeah.
Well, there is a point to that, which is they're cheap to mass produce, and they weren't supposed to win anyway.
Yeah, but how is a droid that looks like in a human sort of form that has to carry its own gun better than a floating weapons platform that can just target things and shoot them?
Because
a floating weapons platform every time. You basically build a fucking Dalek.
Yeah, even without the force fields, the droidekas are a much better, battle droid design than the ones that have to carry weapons around.
Yeah. But they weren't supposed to win anyway. They were made to look good and lose.
Yeah.
That was the innate in their design, because Palpatine was running both sides of the conflict.
And it does make sense if you're planning for a force to lose. You're probably just going to take a bunch of like old, service droids or whatever, reprogram them, and slap guns in their hands, rather than actually build a droid army.
Yeah.
But if you look at some of the other models of droids, they do make some pretty good ones. Like, you got the Droideka, obviously, then you have spider droids, you got the droid fighters, you got
ultra droids, yeah.
Pull the earphone out.
The Droidekas, honestly, are kind of terrifying and cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Say.
They are the only ones,
droid,
though.
Idiotic. Still, I disagree with you. Yeah. Not as annoying.
Just an opinion to me that
I don't want to have this.
Yeah. That's just an opinion to me that I find them the most annoying thing in the prequels.
I don't even necessarily find Jar Jar annoying.
I do, but to a lesser extent than the battle droids.
But he's no more annoying than some of the other characters, like fucking Ewoks.
No, I'll disagree with you. I vastly like the Ewoks are much better than Jar Jar, especially since they're basically the space Viet Cong.
Yeah. yeah.
Diesel has said the same fucking thing. I swear to God.
That is.
I swear to God.
I mean, yeah. Okay. There was comedy done with the Ewoks or whatever, but okay. It was. There was some bad comedy done with the Ewoks. I mean, but I almost feel like you know that with what they did with Jar Jar, it was too damn forced. It was too forced.
Oh yeah, I'll agree with you with that.
That's why it becomes so annoying.
Yeah. Also, when you think about it, the Ewoks are actually kind of terrifying.
Yes, they very much
They are.
Like,
also,
sure they look kind of cute, but not really.
Yeah.
Like when you actually look at the Ewoks, like. That's like some uncanny valley shit right there. They look kind of terrifying.
Let me paint an image in your brain a second. You are a stormtrooper based on the forest moon. Your task is to defend the shield generator. You are going out into the woods to chase down a small band of rebels that have landed. Emperor set a trap for them, and you've got an entire legion of his best troops there to deal with them. You go out with your squad, go out into the forest hunting down the rebels. Suddenly, stone knocks you on top of the helmet and knocks you down off the little ridge you're standing on. Every fucking bush around you suddenly becomes a little teddy bear with a sharpened pointy stone on a stick with their fucking terrifying black eyes staring at you.
Yeah.
As they gradually poke you to death as they find every little nook and cranny in your armor.
Also, you know that those stormtroopers were eaten.
Yes.
And have you played the mini game in Battlefront 2 of the stormtroopers versus the Ewoks? Ewoks are fucking crazy as fuck and kind of scary. So.
Oh, and if you played the old Battlefront 2, the one before EA ruined everything with microtransactions, the Ewoks, the fucking stormtroopers are useless. They shoot too high. They don't hit them.
Yeah. It is ridiculously hard to hit one of those Ewoks as a stormtrooper because they just come out of fucking nowhere and they're like so close to the ground that you practically have to aim at the ground to hit them.
Yeah.
Ewoks are fucking terrifying.
They were terrifying until they got their own movie. And while I was very young and I loved the movie, it still kind of ruined, the horribleness that is actually the Ewoks, which is what makes them so great, though, because from a distance they're cuddly little teddy bears, and getting up closer they are human eating psychopaths with pointy sticks. So
Oh, while we're on the topic of defending the Ewoks, they also got used for some really in the Return of the Jedi. They got used for some really interesting stuff about the kind of horrors of war, because there's just that one moment where the Ewoks, they're all chasing that AT-ST around, and it turns around and targets them and fires, and you see a couple of Ewoks go flying. One of them gets up and the other one doesn't.
Yeah.
And that one that does get up just goes over to his friend trying to get him to move, and that's a fucking moving scene.
Yeah, it was. But they also made
that with the battle droids in the prequels. I would have pissed myself laughing.
It was
But yeah,
instead of a touching scene like that, we got C-3PO's head on a battle droid.
Oh, that factory scene.
That was the dumbest thing ever.
That was terrible.
I'm quite beside myself.
Oh.
that was so stupid. I mean, hang on. The intelligence of 3PO is supposed to be in the head, so why can't he actually control what this body's doing? Not to mention the fact that the wiring between that head and that body would have been entirely fucking different.
I don't think the battle droids' brains are in their heads. So I think that 3PO... I think logically speaking, 3PO found himself in a position where all his droid intelligence is in his head, so he's there talking like he normally does, but the battle droid is just controlling itself anyway.
So how was the other body working at all?
Because it's the battle droid's brain is not in its head.
Yeah, you've seen the battle droids have their heads knocked off.
3PO's body was walking around with...
Oh yeah, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
See, that fucks up your entire theory, Badger.
yeah, it does rather, doesn't it?
Well, so yeah, the battle droid controlling 3PO's head makes sense. The 3PO body is fucking stupid.
Yeah, if that had just fallen off the edge of the thing and hadn't moved at all, that I could have bought that because they made the other one move around.
No, just protocol droid body, just all the battle droids walk out, and that one just stays there and falls over.
Yeah.
Can I shift the conversation again? Then I mean, while you were talking about Ewoks versus outside, I was actually going to kind of say, irony of this is probably if it wasn't for the Ewoks, the Rebels wouldn't have won the Galactic Civil War. They effectively made the difference, but that should have been a conversation we had last week, really. But I should declare, people's take on Order 66 opinion.
I wish they would have explained it. Like in the movies, they didn't tell them. You didn't know that it was this chip in their head because they needed to do that explanation. What?
I said, expanded universe.
Well,
But
I knew we were. Yeah, I knew we were.
Point.
Sorry,
I knew we were going to get into some expanded universe territory.
No, I mean, I have a whole load of comments on that, which are for the expanded universe one.
My comment is just, it would have been nice if they're, because like to have them work alongside the Jedi for the entire Clone Wars, which you don't get to really that much of, but it's years of it, and they become very close. And then for all of a sudden to turn around and go, okay, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like it would be nice to have an explanation for it.
There's also in universe just two aspects to that, which is good soldiers follow orders, and the Jedi are kind of culty.
Yeah.
Oh, the Jedi are. The Jedi
are definitely a cult.
So you could argue that the clones are just. And also, a lot of the Jedi are not actually that nice to the clones.
We've got to do this, Jen. You've got to get like Telltale on it, and we've got to do.
Yeah, I've been trying to organise Telltale so we can have that discussion.
We got to do like get Mandarin or whatever. We got to do the bite model on the Jedi Order.
I'll just come in with the Mandalorian perspective, just kind of they're definitely a fucking cult.
I don't know how you can't argue they're not a cult. Are they more culty than the Sith are?
Way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
So,
I mean, I won't say that the Sith aren't a cult themselves, but they're definitely more culty.
As far as Order 66, I mean...
You mind tricking me, Manda?
Honestly, it in my opinion, in regards to the Order 66 scene in Revenge of the Sith, that could have been much more, that could have been much further expanded. Also, it probably would have had a lot more of an emotional impact if we got to know the other Jedi.
Yeah, that's true. However, for the expanded universe episode, I'm not going to say anything more than if you want to be emotionally ruined by Order 66, read the Republic Commando books.
Yeah. Read a few of them, and they're very good. I like them. But
I just noticed Julie. Just noticed Julie's in the chat. Julie, does Julie want to come in here because she's big on Star Wars? If you want to, Julie, just say yes, and I'll send you a link. I'll send you the link if you want to come in.
Yeah,
because Julie's a big into her Star Wars. So, sorry, I'm inviting people on your channel here.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I know, Julie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ring. I need to have a chat with you at some point.
Yes.
Super weird.
Star Wars.
What was that about?
But
there's something else.
Though I mean,
it just popped in my head.
Even if it's not a a chip or whatever, I mean, the clone troopers were bred to be an army for the Republic, so that means they were conditioned to be an army for the Republic. So you could have easily explained that as being brainwashed while growing up, sort of Red Room kind of stuff.
Well, they're literally raised from the standard clone trooper is mostly taught by computers. They're flash trained, so they're just there with the training just essentially being pumped into their brains directly, and it's not good psychologically for you.
Yeah.
I was going to say another thing. What was it? Oh, Amanda's escaped. I was going to say a thing that Amanda will do.
I haven't escaped. I was just sneezing. Hold on.
Fair enough.
You need to tell us.
Okay. Clones. Who's the best clone?
Oh, that is so fucking obvious.
So only one.
Wolf or Rex or Fives.
Isn't this more a
I could keep going. By the way.
This is more like, because in the prequels there's only one named clone,
and he's a fucking douchebag. Fuck you, Cody. Sorry.
Yeah, so but, I mean, we were sort of including Clone Wars into this anyway.
Yeah, somewhat.
So yeah.
Why, Badger? What is your answer?
I very much like the the Clone Wars, the cartoon one they did before they did the CG one.
Yes, I do.
Oh yeah, I see you there. I see you with your with your
fucking Rex, bitches.
Yeah, there was
I have best avatar.
There was an ARC Trooper commander in the Clone Wars, the cartoon one.
Yeah.
Let me just check.
Done by the guy who did Samurai Jack, by the way.
Let me just check what that
weird. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm just checking what he's called, or I want to make sure that I get this right.
Yeah.
Yep. If I've got this right, it's ARC Trooper 77 or Fordo. He's the best fucking clone ever, because you see him there on the Battle of Coruscant. He's there just shooting. The droids are completely overrunning his position. He's there talking into his comlink, shooting droids with one hand with his fucking rifle. He's got his pistol in the other hand.
Yeah,
He fucking knocks the guy in the head with the rifle, and he's just there like, we need backup.
Yeah, but the whole movie is all fucking Rambo in cartoon form, though. So you don't get to actually get to know him in the context that you do people like Wolf and Fives and Jesse and Hardcase and all of them. And
very much true. Yeah, all the clones are good. Clones are good boys.
Yes, until they're not.
Yeah.
Aren't they getting the guy who played them originally to come back for the next season of The Mandalorian?
That was your fault, not mine.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just asking. Isn't that true?
Hold on. I don't know. I've heard that rumor. I don't know if it's actually true or not.
I believe so, and I'm angry.
With Dave Filoni being an executive producer on The Mandalorian, it brings over the elements of the Clone Wars, and this next season it looks like it might have Rex in it. We don't know.
Yeah.
We know that Rex survives the Return of the Jedi because he's in the Return of the Jedi. Bringing back Rex to the fucking. Yeah. Oh no, that was the originals. Never mind. We're doing the prequels now.
Hang on. He's in the Return of the Jedi, is he?
Yes.
Rex.
Oh, I mean, obviously they had to backtrack it, but because he didn't really exist when they made them. But on Endor.
God damn, yes, he is. He's going to be playing Boba Fett.
As they're walking up the path.
Yeah, he's playing Boba Fett. Yeah.
There's a Jedi, or not a Jedi. There's a man, an older man, and he's bald, but he's also carrying a trooper helmet. So
he's playing Boba Fett. He's not playing a clone. Sorry. He's playing Boba. Well, he's still a clone.
Now, I'm not sure if this is canon or not, but in the PlayStation 2 version of Battlefront 2, it seems like there was a clone uprising after Order 66, and that's why they swapped to the Stormtroopers.
But it's canon if Legends is canon, which it is.
Okay. But I mean, I agree. I'm pretty sure it is canon.
Yeah.
So.
At least they're doing it. At least in Mandalorian, they're covering the whole bit where they are actually doing the whole thing where God, now I've forgotten his name again. Actually escaped from the Starlax pit. So.
Yeah, but that's for next week.
Yeah.
Oh, do we get to talk about the Mandalorian in extended universe shit?
No,
I think
I'm lumping it in with Disney.
Disney. It has to be taught. Yeah.
But it's actually good though.
Yeah.
And Badger, shut your fucking face and let me have this. Okay, I like it.
No, I like it. I like what's been made so far.
Mandalorian is good.
Hey, good morning. Well, for me anyway.
On the Mandalorian, I've enjoyed what's been made so far. I don't include it in proper Star Wars because it's Disney continuity, but that doesn't mean I can't like it and enjoy it. What my issue is that it worked for me because it's its own thing and is not linked to any other, is not directly linked to any other Star Wars property. As soon as they start bringing in characters from other things, it's fucked.
Well, let's just see how it goes first. Okay. Let's not, say it's over yet.
Same with the Kenobi thing. Give it a chance before you shit on it, Badger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Kenobi's going to be dope as fuck, and you know it.
I'll be watching it because it's got Ewan McGregor playing Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Well, given that we're including some of the Clone Wars in this, what do you think of Ahsoka as a character?
Who are we asking? Everyone?
Oh, I am not going to be helpful here.
Yeah, I can't really comment because I haven't seen the Clone Wars.
I didn't like her to begin with.
I haven't either.
Kind of grown on me a bit over the years.
The last season was the last few, like maybe 3.5 seasons, tolerable. Before that, especially starting in the fucking movie.
We're getting celebrities in the chat. We're getting celebrities.
Hey, David.
Hey, David.
I thought you were still on that raft. Yeah. So Ahsoka, I can kind of get on board with Ahsoka. She's okay. She's a bit start with.
She's so fucking annoying to start with.
They do a load of stuff involving Mandalorians with her that I can't get on board with, but in general, she's okay.
See, I'm actually
Santi, I'd hate to invoke Godwin's law, but that is literally the Nuremberg defense.
Yeah.
But it applies better to the clones.
That being said, I would say that the clones are less culpable because they've been conditioned into it.
It does apply much more to the clones than it did in Nuremberg, because the clones are actually literally bred from birth for this purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a little different.
And guys, when you get to know them, most of them.
It is a credit to them as good boys that some of them went against it.
Yeah, for sure.
The ones that went against it were the ones that figured out they had, like, with what...
Sorry, I'm hunting for my coffee.
This is the Clone Wars thing, but Fives figured it out and knew there was a chip, and they had it, and they knew, and they fucking shot him for no reason. It was stupid. Could have saved it all. Makes me sad. That's fucking sad.
Read the Republic Commando books.
Tell me that.
To be honest, I don't actually know why they would have needed the chips in the first place. They were so well conditioned to following orders. Most of them probably would have.
Republic Commando books.
But they were so close to their Jedi generals and stuff. There's always a possibility of them letting it slip. They were fucking brothers, alongside, Ahsoka and Obi-Wan and Anakin. I mean, they fought for years together, and they honestly loved each other. That's why. See, this is just going to be a Clone Wars stream now. You shouldn't have brought me here.
Well, I mean, we did literally spend we've already spent over an hour talking about the prequels proper.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
do you think of the fight scene between Yoda and Palpatine?
That was badass. I gotta say that is one of the few I really dislike a lot about the prequels, but there are some shining moments in the prequels, and seeing a young Yoda just beat the shit with a lightsaber without that was amazing, and watching him use the Force to move himself around and make the height difference not matter, and that was just awesome. I freaking loved it. So,
Julie, you talk about
am I talking about the wrong fight?
Yeah.
God damn
you talk about decent moments sprinkled within the prequels. One of my favorite lines, and it gets me every time, is the very end of Revenge of the Sith when Padme says, "This is how democracy dies.
This is how liberty dies." Yeah. I cried. It made me cry.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
I love that
one.
I have used that myself.
Yeah. Like there are.
I used it in 2016.
Obvious, the obvious shining gems among the other bits of the prequels. The Duel of the Fates is
the best music ever written.
Is the shining gem of Phantom Menace. I don't really remember much shining gems in Attack of the Clones.
I barely remember Attack of the Clones.
Like when they're on Naboo and stuff, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's pretty. Lots of pretty costumes.
I actually do like Padme's character in that movie more so than in the first one.
She's doing stuff. She's there.
Yeah. She's actually making a difference. Plus, I love her fucking hair and her outfits and shit.
But
she's being all competent and doing fixing everything.
Yeah.
Well, and she's an adult now too. She's not 14 anymore. So
And then Revenge of the Sith is just like chock full of shining moments.
Yeah. I mean, of the prequels, I think I would probably I think most of us agree that Revenge of the Sith was the best of the prequels.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm saying anything majorly controversial saying that.
Oh, there's one thing. In Revenge of the Sith, Padme dies in childbirth, which completely negates the entire conversation that Luke and Leia have at the end of Return of the Jedi, where he asked her, "Do you remember your mother, your real mother?" And she says, "Just a little bit. She died when I was very young." Well, she died giving birth to you. You don't fucking remember anything.
Hold on. The man's got a rebuttal.
I have as well, but you go first.
First thing, Leia is Force sensitive, and she's able to remember her mother even though she never met her.
I know, because she said she was very kind, but also sad.
Yeah, so she has memories of her because she is Force sensitive.
So, like in utero,
like that.
she made memories of her just because she's Force sensitive. I know Leia's Force sensitive, and I absolutely agree with that. I think she's probably as Force sensitive as Luke, if not more so. But I can't. The way they speak of it at the end of Jedi, it's like she knew her mom as a baby and small child, and then didn't.
Also,
anymore.
Admittedly, it is a shit explanation, but they kind of had to. I think that was something to put in because someone, whether it be Lucas, whoever, didn't think this shit through.
But you also don't forget the woman she knew as her mother wasn't her mother. So she could have been talking about her as well.
Yeah, but she wasn't, because in that moment that he was asking about his mother as well, because that's the moment when he reveals that
Leia
the brother
did not realize she was Luke's sister at the time when they had that conversation.
Well, she said that, and in that conversation, she says, "I know. I think somehow I've always known." So yeah, she kind of did, just like Amanda said, she's Force sensitive.
Which makes that kiss in Empire
a little more awkward. Yeah, but they hadn't known each other long, and who knows?
Okay. Well, she wasn't meant to be his sister originally anyway. That was
no.
How the hell is that kissing between Leia and Luke in Empire like that cringeworthy now, considering a lot of us have watched Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones?
Okay. Yeah, it's much more innocent now, right?
My favourite meme on the internet for ages was the one where Princess Leia saying, "You know, I once kissed my brother," and then Cersei Lannister going, "Bitch, please."
I'm just going to say, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's an issue. They didn't know at the time, and they haven't fucking actually done anything.
No,
They
and she was just
each other.
and she was just kissing him to make Han jealous anyway.
Siblings do that anyway, just not usually so mouthily.
Yeah.
Ugh. I have two brothers, and I'm gonna say no to that better, but that's fine.
Yeah, but you're not Spanish or Italian, are you?
No.
Or from a galaxy far, far away.
And that.
No. I did have a hot Portuguese boy kiss me on both cheeks once the first time he met me, and I was like, "Oh, that's a thing. I like this thing. This is a cool thing."
That's got so many ways to interpret that statement.
All right.
Yeah.
So we were talking about moments just now.
Yes.
In the prequels, and saying that Revenge of the Sith has a lot of them, a lot of the kind of the defining moments of the prequels. What moment most emotionally moved each? Do we call this a panel? Each panelist?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a panel.
Okay.
Obi-Wan's speech to Anakin after he's cut his limbs off.
To be honest, is this going to be everybody's answer? Is this going to be everybody's answer?
No, I have a different answer, although I agree with that as well. But when Anakin and Padme meet on fucking that same planet, I can't remember the name of it the second.
Tatooine.
No, not Tatooine.
The lava planet, which I can't recall either.
Mustafar.
Angel fucking says it all the time.
Mustafar.
Yeah, Mustafar.
And they're standing there arguing, but then Obi-Wan comes out and she looks at Anakin and Anakin gets upset and she says, no. And you know in that moment that there's nothing she can do to convince him that she didn't bring Obi-Wan along, even though Obi-Wan is trying to save both of them. That fucking kills me every time. So
yeah, that is tragic. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's okay. Stupid.
So let's see. Jen's answer was "You were my brother."
Yeah.
Amanda's answer was Padme.
I got some shit to say about the "You Are My Brother" thing in a minute, but we'll get to that.
Julie.
Badger.
Oh, okay.
No,
it's been since they were in the
Jeff.
theaters that I've seen it. I'm sorry about that. I was not prepared.
She's on one of the good things in the prequels, Badger.
Right. So it's been since Revenge of the Sith was in the theaters that I've seen it. So it's been a long time, and I was so angry when Padme died in childbirth. I was so pissed off that's all I can think of when I think of that film now. It's sad. It's like that's the part that, like, until you two were talking about the "You Were My Brother" thing and that moment with Padme and Obi-Wan, I didn't even remember it. I was like, oh right, those things happened too. So, sorry. No.
Can I expand the universe just a little bit?
Sure.
Padme died because Palpatine was sapping her life force to preserve Anakin's life.
And to fuck with Anakin as well. Padme had to die in order for, Anakin to...
Yeah. Yeah, if Padme had lived, I don't know that Anakin would have gone full dark side.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Although that would have depended on whether or not Palpatine could convince Anakin that he had killed her.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Which actually would have been a lot darker ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who hasn't said moments yet?
So, it's not really an emotional moment.
I've already said mine, so.
But I will say the opera scene stands out as a very well-crafted moment. It's not an emotional moment per se, but it is very much a well-crafted. Yeah, it is a shining moment in Revenge of the Sith.
It's a nice into the world building. Moment. That Now that you mention it and I remember it.
Yeah.
I really should have rewatched these. I've got them somewhere.
Told you about the tragedy of Darth. Have you heard about the tragedy of Darth? They just the wise.
That was very good.
That was very good.
Nah.
No, I didn't mean his impression. Okay, Badger, what did you want to say?
Jen, you motherfucker, you stole my moment, but also
you are my brother, Annie.
If anyone wants to know why I get so fucking emotional shouting at people about Star Wars on the internet, it's fucking moments like that.
Yeah.
It's because I was there watching that film and I was fucking in tears. Just, you are my brother, Anakin. I love you.
Okay.
Well, you all know my reasoning for getting emotional because it's an angel thing. So I fucking lose my shit about it every time.
If anyone wants to know why I fucking shout at people on the internet about Star Wars, it's because of moments like that, and the moments from the books, and moments from the comics, moments from the games that have got Star Wars and all the backstory of it as this huge emotional thing in my head. So when people fuck with my shit, I get fucking emotional.
I get that.
So yeah, it's you and my brother, Anakin. I loved you.
Best choice.
I guess I'm kind of the same way when it comes to Batman the Animated Series with those people that think like Joker and Harley is relationship goals. And I'm like, no!
It doesn't matter. They're villains. Of course their relationship is dysfunctional. They're also badass and awesome. I was wearing a shirt yesterday that has them both on it. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So, anyways, and of course the arrest of Palpatine is about is sloppily done, sloppily executed, but it's a good moment. It could have been another great moment if it weren't as hammed up.
Yeah.
I do think that Ian McDermott was just kind of there, just going, okay, George just wants me to ham up Palpatine, so fuck it. I'm just gonna.
But it isn't. It isn't just.
You would die.
I am the Senate. No, see. But it's not just Ian McDermott. It's everyone in the scene that's hamming it up.
Oh God! Speaking of which, and I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings here, but when that horrible moment, and it is horrible. I mean, it's physically horrific to watch when Anakin, loses limbs in the lava, but realizes Padme is dead and screams no, like really screams no. That's what we're gonna do.
When he's in Darth Vader.
I'm just like
Darth Vader armor.
I'm just like, oh, no, come on, guys, no. I actually groaned out loud in the theater.
Yeah, there's one thing that I've heard about it that kind of redeems it, but not by much. It's that, the theory or whatever is he didn't actually scream no. He just screamed in, agony, emotional torment. But the suit translated it as no.
Ugh. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
They should have just had noise happen.
Yeah. He does speak for himself. The suit just amplifies his voice, so I think that's a ridiculous concept.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the canon explanation, though. I think the canon explanation was just no.
Yeah.
I think it was just that realization of what he's done.
The canon explanation is just Lucas isn't that great at dialogue.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are some
that's
stunning
actually
bits
fair.
of dialogue in it. They're just
No
flattened.
offense to George Lucas. He's an awesome chap. He created like this universe that I've been emotionally invested in literally all of my life. But he needs to like get some help with some of his dialogue, like the romance scenes and the emotional bits.
Yeah, we're getting up on over an hour and a half, so let's go to our round of shilling.
Oh, I got one final thought, and really quickly, it did give Weird Al Yankovic a chance to finally filk American. God damn it, that song.
American Pie.
Yeah, American Pie. Okay, that's what I thought, and then I was like, no, that's those weird movies about teenagers.
Anakin guy. Maybe later, someday later. Now he's just a small fry.
Yeah, exactly. That was a great moment. Okay.
He's gonna kiss mom goodbye. Singing soon, I'm gonna be a Jedi.
Careful, copyright strike.
Yeah, we don't want a copyright strike.
Ring's told enough of that shit lately. So
yeah, I already had my story keepers. Well, it wasn't a strike; it was just a block. But, yeah.
Oh, I had a lovely copyright thing a while ago. I was playing a game and somebody's there blasting "Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds" down the microphone while I was live streaming.
Oh. But, anyways, so you know what, Julie, you were on here latest. We'll let you show first.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Julie. I do Julie Little Voice. I do Wine and Reason sometimes. No, I'm gonna have a new one Tuesday, and we figured out some of our technical issues yesterday during Atheist D&D. So thank you all for that, and I'm gonna start doing it a bit earlier my time. So maybe y'all in the UK will be able to catch it. I'll send out a thing before once I set the time. And Junk Shop and I have our yet unnamed couple stream Thursday night, 9:00 Eastern, or 9:00 10:00 Eastern Standard Time, 9:00 my time. I suck at time zones. I apologize.
Yeah, I did until I got into a long distance relationship.
Yeah, that would motivation. I need more motivation.
Man, just like yeah.
And let's go around. So Scummer.
Channel's Godless Scummer. As people know, I've been doing a collaboration with Ring's better half over the last few weeks. We're actually going through the Asterix book, so we had a bit of an uncomfortable 10 minutes today on the opening 10 minutes on that one today, but it needed to be addressed. But we will be back on my channel next Sunday about 1 p.m. UK time. We're going to be doing Asterix and the Banquet.
That's
so
cool.
I haven't got anything necessarily planned during the week. I'm sure, along with Manda, Badger, and Jen, we're going to be some point in next week. We're all going to be on Dave's channel. So
yeah,
I'm never on Dave's channel. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
When you get to your plugging or something of yours, I've got to either catch up with tonight or tomorrow morning, Manda. So.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't really been on Critical Questions is it starts like just as I'm getting off work.
I need to get up earlier. I'm sliding into nocturnal habits these days.
Well, Ring on Fridays it's actually later because he goes after Six Pack. Just so you know.
Yeah, but I've been working until like 7 or 8 a.m. my time.
I know. I'm just saying it is later on Fridays. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
But so, Jen.
Yep. Everyone knows me. I'm Jen from Jen's Little Corner. I do debunkings and other odds and sods. And I've got a video that's premiering in 19 minutes, which I will dump the link in the description.
Yay, thank you.
So, yep, I'm debunking Hans Wormhat, who's a fucking idiot. So, yeah, go and enjoy that if you want to after this. Yep. Yeah, I do all sorts of stuff. I'm also having Julian Junk Shop on my channel some point this week. We're going to have a bit of a talk and stuff, so that should be interesting. Cool. And first episode of the show that I'm doing with Jen Aldrich will be out on Thursday night. I think it's at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time US.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. We're interviewing Neil the 604 Atheist, and Amanda and I are kicking the butt of Ray Comfort on the weekend.
Fantastic! That's my favorite thing. and thank you for mentioning that, Jen. Since we hadn't actually set a time, I felt weird saying it. So
I don't feel weird saying it because we've got to organise that around because we want to do that after Dave's thing. So we need to sort of organise it
do people need to turn up with bananas to your Ray Comfort stream?
Oh hell yeah!
This is the atheist's worst nightmare.
We can make fun of Comfort and do a condom demonstration.
Yeah.
We should also do a free salad.
Yeah. Anyway, so Badger.
Yeah.
Hello, I am Bad Tempered Badger. I talk about Star Wars and occasionally other things on the internet. You can find me on YouTube, Gab, Twitter, Lines, BitChute, and Pornhub, and yeah. If you want to set up a discussion with me, you can find me. You can email me at badger@cock.li. Oh, I do have a new nature video going up soon. It may be tonight or it may be tomorrow. I haven't quite decided yet.
Oh, yay.
More in the saga of the little mouse.
The mouse may make an appearance, but this is a super secret special guest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay, Amanda.
Yes.
I'm Amanda.
Yeah.
Show your fucking channel up, man. Come on.
Show your channel, Amanda.
Come on.
I have the Brazen Atheist on tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With,
dude. I will so be there for that.
Mathbig is co-hosting with me because Chris can't do it tonight, so that's about it.
And she does TV time. She has a new video up that I am going to watch soon.
The 8-minute one?
Yeah, the 8-minute one.
Yeah. That's me saying the word fuck a lot. I get angry and ranty. I'm pissed and sad, so yeah. I'm sorry.
But yeah, if you want to see an astrophysicist and climate scientist say fuck a lot, subscribe to Amanda.
Yeah, that pretty much describes me.
So. As for me, at least until work slows down a bit, I'm pretty much just doing Media Musings and the Atheist D&D. I do have a couple. I do have an edited video that I'm wanting to do, but I've got to find time and energy to actually film it. And I probably won't be able to find time in this coming week because in this coming week I also have to watch The Last Jedi to prepare for next week's episode of Media Musings.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Ring. You must do what you feel is right, of course.
Nice.
So says Obi-Wan Kenobi, Jedi Knight and giver of bad advice.
Well,
Misa think you should watch it, Chris.
Oh,
And
no.
with that, I'm fucking out.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day
Yeah.
to all the mums in the chat and to the mums here. Happy Mother's Day.
You
Thank you. Appreciate it.
feel your hate flow through you.
That was better. Thank you. Thank you for ending with that, Ring.
Yeah.
Watch it, you must.
No, that wasn't Jar Jar, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Badger does a better one. I will say.
I pre-cringed. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's cycle around with taglines. Julie?
You can't find truth in wine, but you can find it in reason.
Scummer?
Right. To quote Mace Windu for the moment, stay the fuck at home, motherfuckers.
Thank you.
And salute.
Badger?
Did you hear about Mace Windu's new album? Straight out of the window.
It's going to be dreadful, isn't it?
Straight out of the window.
Oh.
God, I thought Chris Shelton was bad for dad jokes.
Yeah. Amanda.
Think critically.
And remember, indoctrination is a hell of a selfie stick.
What about Jen?
It's a
Yeah.
Bye.
Nice try to save.
Bye.
Yeah.
I
Jen
cut you off.
doesn't get to say hers, and I don't get to say mine. We have a couple mashups that we do.
Yeah, we may mash them together.
Yeah.
If anybody was wondering why we do that.
Yeah. But yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye.